So, what if I told you there's a tree that could turn tiny seeds into a fortune? I'm not talking about magic, not even luck, but about a simple, super powerful principle. We're going to dive into a story today that reveals one of the biggest secrets to building wealth.
All right, so let's meet our main character, Dr. MonkeyMan. Now, this guy, he was a master at saving. His vault was getting bigger, he was feeling pretty secure, his habits were rock solid, but, he just had this nagging feeling that he was missing a key piece of the puzzle.
And that feeling led him to this exact question, a question that, honestly, every smart saver asks eventually. How do you get your money to start working for you? He just knew there had to be a way to build real wealth that didn't just depend on him grinding harder and harder. And right as he's mulling this over, this wise mentor, Meerkat Maven, shows up. And she doesn't come with some complicated spreadsheet or a risky get-rich-quick scheme. Nope. She just has a story about something she calls the compound tree. Okay, so this is where the real lesson kicks off. And it doesn't start with some huge dramatic gesture. It starts with something incredibly small and incredibly simple. So Maven just hands Dr. MonkeyMan this one tiny little golden seed. Now, the seed, it represents that first investment, right? That little bit of money you decide not to spend, but to plant for your future. And her instruction couldn't be easier. Just plant it. But, and this is a big but, with that simple instruction comes a massive warning. See, Maven knew the hard part isn't planting the seed. The hardest part is leaving it alone. That temptation to peek, to check on it every 5 minutes, to demand instant results, that's where most of us go wrong. And man, you can really feel his struggle here. Dr. MonkeyMan plants the seed, and he waits. Day 1, nothing. Day 2, still nothing. By the 3rd day, he is just filled with doubt and impatience. It seriously feels like absolutely nothing is happening.
So that feeling, that impatience, that brings us to the very first major test on this whole journey. It's that classic battle between waiting for something to grow versus wanting that instant reward.
And right on cue, here comes his neighbor, Parrot Polly. Now, Polly, she represents that voice we all hear, that live for today, spend it now kind of thinking. She sees money just sitting there and thinks, what a waste. That could be fun right now. So let's just lay these two paths out side by side, because it's really the core of the whole story. You've got the compound tree path. Yeah, it's slow, it takes patience, but the wealth it creates is real and it lasts. Then you've got Polly's way. Super fast satisfaction, for sure, but it's gone just as quick as it came. Okay, so Dr. MonkeyMan manages to resist Polly's temptation. But you might be wondering, how does this tree, actually work? Let's get into the mechanics behind the magic. The secret has a name. It's called compounding. And honestly, it's beautiful in its simplicity. It's just the process where the money your investment makes starts making money of its own. It's like a snowball for your wealth. So Maven literally drew this out in the dirt for him. It's 4 simple steps. 1, you plant your seed. Let's say it's $100. 2, it grows a little bit. Say it earns 10%. So now you have 110. 3, and listen up, this is the magic ingredient. You reinvest that $10 you just made. And 4, now your original $100 and your new $10 are both growing. It's a tiny difference at first, but that's how the snowball gets bigger and bigger. And this really gets to the heart of it, with this amazing quote from Maven. The whole secret isn't about speed. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about consistency and time. Just staying in the game long enough to let this incredible process do its thing. So if you can actually master that patience, what's the reward? Well, let's get to the really fun part of the story, the golden harvest. Dr. MonkeyMan, he stuck with it. He just let time do the heavy lifting. And that little tiny sprout, it grew into this tall, strong tree. And then one morning, he wakes up and he sees it. The branches are just sagging with these shimmering golden fruits. The payoff was finally here, and it was even better than he'd imagined. But here's the final and maybe the most critical lesson of all. Every single piece of fruit had an instruction carved right into it. This wasn't just a prize to be eaten. It was fuel for even more growth. And this is how you turn a single win into a machine that runs itself. He didn't cash out. He took every single one of those golden fruits and he planted them. And pretty soon, he didn't have one tree anymore. He had an entire garden, a whole system where wealth was just building on itself, over and over again.
So, if we just boil this whole story down to its essence, it gives us this simple, powerful formula. Compounding is nothing more than small money plus time plus the discipline to not mess with it. That's it.
At the end of the day, the story of the compound tree teaches us that time can be our absolute greatest partner in building wealth, or our worst enemy if we're impatient. The choice is totally up to us. So the real question is, are you willing to plant that seed and then have the patience to let time do the heavy lifting for you?